Yo, Halito.
Yvmvse, what's going on with your family? Why it's got me mute? Why it got me mute? Why it got me mute?
We'll be back momentarily, everyone. Thank y'all for tuning in. Peace to everybody in the chat.
All right. What's going on? Yvmvse, what's going on, everybody? You having a little difficulty, you know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, we're here. We're here and we live in effect. Can y'all hear me? If y'all can hear me, put one in the chat. Put one in the chat if you can hear me. Put one in the chat if you can hear me.
I can hear you, cuz.
All right. Now, I know y'all see the title of the show, right? I know y'all see the title of the show. Yvmvse, what's going on, family? Yeah, you have people that's trying to speak on my Yati, Yamassee, right? And it's mighty funny because they're not Yamassee, right? They're not Yamassee at all. But yet they're trying to say who, what, when, and why, and how Yamassee supposed to be, right? And you got people saying that the Yamassee are not Negroes, right? But as somebody said when we bust them open about the Wallow Homer, right? They said we was being disingenuous. Nah, not by a long shot. But yet they being disingenuous about the people of the Southeast being Negroes. Right? Right? Why they got a problem with the people of the Southeast and the South Coast being Negroes as it was being recorded by those colonists who came amongst the indigenous people of the southeastern region, like your Spanish and your French and your Germans, huh? Why they was calling us Negroes? That's the question. Why they was calling the people of the southeast and the south coast, describing them as Negroes. Before the Negroes of Africa was even being traded to North America and Brazil. Let's get down to it, right? Because somebody is having a mental breakdown. Chief Sekou is lying. He's lying. There was a man. Only if you knew how you sound, bruh. You the only one that's in denial, bruh. And I ain't talking about the Mississippi either. Right? Those that was of the Holy Roman Empire, those nations that was over there across the Atlantic when they came here, they described us as Negroes. And even in some of their documents, they said that we looked like Ethiopians, right? They said we looked like Ethiopians. And that was in the 1500s. So if we look like Ethiopians in the 1500s, if we look like Negroes in the 1500s, they look like Ethiopians in the 1500s. That was 100 years before 1619, when they did the transatlantic slave trade to North America. So, if you have people in the 1500s that was described and looked as much of an Ethiopian or Negro, why is it that DeSoto and them in the Pasta de Leon, right, bought the native or American natives of the Southeast to Spain, and they were sold as Negroes on the auction block? Don't take my word for it. Look it up. Look it up how they bought American natives to Spain and they were sold on the auction block as Negroes from the Americas. Who remembers seeing something like that when they said that the American natives look like Ethiopians? Y'all remember that? I'm going to read something to y'all, right? They said that Native Americans or American natives were sold as Negroes, blacks in Spain during the colonial era. This practice was part of the broad transatlantic slave trade. Historical context. After Christopher Columbus arrived in the Americas, Spain colonizer began enslaving Native Americans or American natives and labeled them as Negroes or Indios Negroes, Black Indians. This terminology erased Native American identity and culture, justifying their enslavement alongside the Africans, right? They say dealing with the sales in the Spanish markets. Evidence, historical records, and documents demonstrated this practice. Leos D's Eros of 1530 and 1600s. The Spanish archives contain slave registered and recorded and listed Native Americans as Negroes. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying.
And cuz tell them what book source they can see if they don't know where you're reading from.
Let me see if I can do this. I'm gonna put it in the back chat and you can put it up there in the front. If it why it's not letting me go to the private. I don't know why the internet service is acting funny. Keep on saying, wait. Well, I'll spell it for those if you got pen and paper and everything. It's spelled capital L, lowercase I, lowercase b, lowercase r, os, space d e, space a s i e n t o s, and that's dealing with 1530s to the 1600s. That's dealing with the Spanish archives containing slave registration records listed Native Americans as Negroes. Do y'all have that? I'll repeat. It's L as in Larry, I as in Ida, B as in boy, R as in Richard, O as in Oscar, S as in Sam. Space, D as in Dora, E as in Edward. Space, A as in Anthony, S as in Sam, I as in Ida, E as in Edward, N as in Nancy, T as in Tom, O as in Oscar, S as in Sam. Y'all got that? If y'all got that, put the number 3 in the chat for yes. Give me a number 3 for yes in the chat if y'all got that. Do y'all need me to spell it again? Do y'all need me to spell it again? L as in Larry, I as in Ida, B as in boy, R as in Richard, O as in Oscar, S as in Sam. Space, D as in Diego, E as in Edward. Space, A as in Anthony, S as in Sam, I as in Ida, E as in Edward, N as in Nancy, T as in Tom, O as in Oscar, and S as in Sam. Now, why would the Spaniards call those from the adjoining islands of the Americas and Florida Negroes? All right, there's another document that you can go look up, which is R as in Richard, E as in Edward, L as in love, A as in apple, C as in cat, I as in Ida, O as in Oscar, N as in Nancy, E as in Edward, S as in Sam, space, D as in dog, E as in Edward, space, L as in love, O as in Oscar, S as in Sam, space, V as in Victor, E as in Edward, C as in cat, I as in Ida, N as in Nicole, O as in Oscar, and S as in Sam. All right, and that's dealing with 1514. 1540s. Correction, 1540s. Hey, yo, chill out. Move. Pull it out. That's dealing with the 1540s to the 1600s, where the Spanish colonial documents describing Native Americans or American natives as Negroes or Indios Negroes. Okay. And they said the regions that were affected dealing with the American natives of various regions were sold as Negroes in Spain. It was the Caribbeans, right? Dealing with the Tainos, the Coronagos, and the indigenous group. 2, Mesoamerica, the Aztecs, the Mayans, and others. 3, South America, the Incas, the Quest, and others. All right. Conquest. This practice contributed to the Native American population decline, right? Erased cultural identities, fabricated racial mixing, or the Martis, right? And shaping modern day racial clarification. They say the source, the Spanish West Indies, dealing with 1521 and 1650 by Irene A. Wright. Dios y Negros El Salva de Santiago, right, by Maria D. Carmen Gomez Perez, 2021. Then you have Native People of the Americas by Elizabeth H. Berger, 2019. Okay. So, why was the Spanish considering those from the Americas joining islands in South America and the southeastern coast of North America as Negroes? Because remember, they didn't know these tribal people names at first. So therefore, they had to characterize them as Negroes from what they see. Oh, a negra or a negro, right? Even when they came amongst the Iguana and the Yamassee, right? Dealing with the Spanish, they labeled us as Negroes or Negra, right? Right? So why is it that people have a problem with the Spanish and the French, right? And the Dutch and them calling the people of the Southeast Negroes? They gave them a description. A description. Right? Let's see if I can go ahead on and share some things with y'all. Hopefully it'll let me share. Okay, there go the screen. Hey. Why is this thing keep on switching? And somebody just tagged me. This nigga just tagged me on Facebook. Let's see what he got to say. Let me see something. Why is this acting funny? Hmm. The computer's acting crazy now. It don't even much want to let me share my screen. I wonder what's going on. This is crazy. Let me see something. I'm trying to pull up something right quick. I'm coming, y'all. I'm looking. Let me see if this will let me share it. Come on, live. Why don't I open up? For some reason, you keep on showing.
Yeah, once you share it and you just continue to share on that page, I'll be able to put it up.
Yeah, but the whatchamacallit keep on saying wait every time when I'm trying to share it.
Okay. You might have to go out and come back in.
It's keep on saying page is unresponsive. You can wait for it to become responsive or exit the page and come back in. Okay. This is acting crazy. Yeah, I see I'm gonna have to go out and come back in. Okay.
Well, we thank y'all for tuning in. Peace to everybody in the chat again. He'll be back momentarily. He got some shit he want to share. So, all right, he back. All right, I can see you.
All right. Let me see if I can go in and do this now. Okay, let's go to share screen. Now, why is it not coming up? Why is it not coming up? Why is it not coming up? This is crazy. This is crazy, y'all. You don't want me to share this information. But it's okay. It's all right. Let's see. Okay, I got it right here. Okay. I'm gonna share this right here.
You're right. Just don't X out of there. Just keep using that one. There we go.
All right. All right. Can y'all see? Can y'all see? This
Yeah,
is
we
the
can see it.
congressional records. This is the congressional records from 1901. Okay, this is from the United States congressional records that's dealing with the state of South Carolina. Okay, and see, and people in them, they feel to have comprehension of what they're reading, right? When they say that the large Negro population on the coast of Carolina is quite different from this here described, right? The mayor of Beaufort says that the town is a remarkable for quiet and good elders, right? For 20 years past, not a single individual has been killed or seriously injured in any disturbance within the corporate limits. Okay. They say, see the handbook of South Carolina, page 008. They say this is the statement that the mayor of Beaufort, and Beaufort is perhaps the blackest spot in the whole South. Okay. That is to say, the Negro population predominated more than anywhere else. There is a particular historical fact, right, connecting them with the town that I would like to mention to the commission. This is the place where the federal troops first set the Negroes free. It was Dino on the Theros Island of the neighborhood of Beaufort, and they are now there, a prominent race, and that the mayor referred to them as a quiet community. A most particular thing is that the Quaffrages in his book of the race of the human race asserted the fact that the Africans lived on this island long before the discovery of America by Christopher Columbus. Wait. What did it say? Right? It said that as a most particular thing that the Quaffrages in his book on the human race asserted that the fact that the Africans lived on these islands long before the discovery of America by Christopher Columbus. They say he is highly authority, and he says that the Yamassee Indians were Negroes, who were known afterward as the fiercest of the Indian tribes of the South. The well-known Yamassee Indians were Africans. Now, let's look at this, right? Black people who they saw, he saw them as Negroes. So therefore, he assumed that they was Africans.
Right.
Because they've been there in that landmass before Christopher Columbus even touched down on the Americas, meaning the jointed islands of North America. He said it is a fact that these Africans lived there in these islands long before the discovery of America by Christopher Columbus. When did Christopher Columbus supposed to sail in 1492, right? So yet you had Negroes in North America before 1492. And before the transatlantic slave trade, what happened in 1619. Right? Right? But y'all say that the Yamassee is not Negroes, but yet a European who they say is the highest authority dealing with his book said that a prominent race, and this man referred to them as a quiet community. And most particular thing is that the Quaffrages in his book on the discovery of America by Christopher Columbus right? The human race asserted that these people were Africans who lived on these islands long before the discovery of America by Christopher Columbus. And he is the high authority. What they say he was? The high authority. So you gonna go against his authority to say that the Yamassee were Negroes and the fearers of the Indian tribes? So now the Africans are an Indian tribe, right? But yet they look like Africans. Just like they said in the 1500s when the Soto and Pastor de Leon them came and said, oh, they look like Ethiopians.
Yep.
They say it look like Ethiopians. They said it well known that the Yamassee Indians were Africans. Question by Mr. Phillips: is it a fact that they were much darker than the other Indians? The answer is yes, it is a fact. But y'all said that the Yamassee was not Negroes. Turtle Game, New York, you said that the Yamassee was not Negroes. Dane Street. Casey Chitham. Turtle Game Midwest. Y'all said that the Yamassee was not Negroes. But yet, this is from the Congressional records of the United States dealing with South Carolina. Question by Mr. Phillips: is it a fact that they are much darker than the other Indians? The answer is yes. And their hair was different too? The question? So it is stated by one of the most distinguished, right, ethnologists in the world. The author, right, and covenant proof that the Spaniards found that one Negro was equal to 10 Indians for work, and that therefore imported these Indian Negroes and carried them to the West Indies to experiment with. But yet y'all said that the Yamassee was not Negroes. You got one fool talking about, oh, if they're not the archaic people, then that can't be your people. Man, these people was around before the archaic period, my boy. My boy. The Spaniards found that one Negro was equal to 10 Indians for work, and therefore imported to these Indian Negroes. Indian Negroes, they called us. Indian Negroes. And carried them off to the West Indies to experiment with. The state guarantees $3 per po enrolled in the case of the school taxes do not produce that much and allow each school district to levy a maximum tax of 4% of property of the maintenance of the school. Right? That's all that part that they're getting into right there. Right? Let's see if it can move up. So what y'all saying is that these people, are you saying that these people lied about the description of we the Yamassee? Right, Mike David. Right. Right. And St. Augustine. Right? And this was in 1565. This is way before the transatlantic slave trade. So you talking about, oh, the people was black because of the slave trade and they married in and they became black. Nah, my boy. See, you don't know the history. Stay up there in Jersey and New York because you don't know nothing about the Southeast. And even Dan Street don't know nothing about the Southeast. He's in Oklahoma. Stay where you're at, my boy. Y'all don't know anything about the Southeast. Isn't it ironic how they took the dark-skinned Indians, they considered Negroes to be slaves first before they bought the Africans? Isn't that ironic? All 13 states of the South had Negro Indians. The Spaniards knew this. The French knew this. The Dutch knew this. The Germans knew this. Why in the hell y'all don't? Why y'all don't? Right? Just to show you, not only did they have Negro Indians in South Carolina, Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Arkansas, Tennessee, Virginia. Huh? Guess what? I'm gonna show you something else too. You don't want to take a Yamassee word for it, but guess what? You'll take a paleface word for it. So therefore, I'm gonna let you see what your daddy said about this. Right? I'm gonna show you what your daddy said about this. I'm gonna let you see what your daddy had to say about this. Why it's taking so long to load up? Okay, we gonna do this here. Y'all say the Yamassee didn't become Negroes until the slave trade. Y'all don't know what you're talking about. Okay, let's do this here. Let's see. Can I zoom it in? Can I zoom it in? Can I zoom it in? Can I make it larger than what it is? Come on. Can I make it larger? Oh, come on. Come on. How can I make it larger? How can I make it larger? Oh, this is bullshit. Let me see. Oh, that's down low. No. How can I make it larger than what it is? Shit. You know what? Let me open up this new tab.
If you can't make it larger, just read it, and whoever's watching, I'm sure they're gonna do a screenshot of the shit so they can read it.
All right. Well, right here, it says that the Black Indians met by the Spanish in Louisiana in 1540 1543. See the Soto invasion, right? See Soto invasion. Soto said that he was met by the Black Indians in Louisiana in 1543. I wish this could have actually got large. Can y'all see it? Can y'all see it right there when it said that the Negroes, right? The Black Indians met by the Spaniards in Louisiana in 1543. See Soto's invasion. And then look, they're right there. Also, you see that they have the moon-eyed Negro. And what you call it? They were talking about the Indians of Panama too, right? Because you see right there, Panama, right here. So they saw these people as Negroes. And this was before the slave trade to the Americas. So for y'all to say, oh, the reason why they look like Negroes because they married into Negroes. Well, according to these documentations, the Negroes wasn't even much in North America from Africa until the 1600s. But yet you had another class of Negroes that was already here. Now, Louisiana is right here in the South Coast. As a matter of fact, I'm right here in Louisiana. The Southeast had more Negroes than any other place in North America. All those tribes in the Southeast and the South Coast were Negroes. Don't argue with me, go argue with your mom and your pa. That's what you gonna argue with. Because obviously you're mad. You mad because we still look the same as they described us in the 1500s. Because if a European was to see you today and didn't know what tribe you're from, they'd be like, oh, that's a Negro right there. Or they would say African American. But yet when they have a conversation with you, then you let them know who you are. ChitoPa, Yamassee, Kawatali, Portocalago, Ani. But yet, you don't like it. Y'all don't like it. And I know where it stemmed from. I know exactly where it stemmed from. It stemmed from the invaders who came over the Bering Strait and was trying to kill the black and brown mound builders. Huh? Let the truth be known. The truth is good, bad, and ugly. Huh? It's good, bad, and ugly. Although they kept on saying, oh, they got Asian ancestry. Yeah, because that was the war machine that came over the Bering Strait. My nephew and I, we broke that down. My nephew Wale Origins, we broke that down. But yet, a person got mad because it was broke down because you sent your cousin at me not knowing that I knew about it. And you trying to burn the candle at both ends, but now you caught up in the middle. Now you having a breakdown on your lives and everything. Because you trying to go after my B McCool. That's a bad move, son. All because you thought somebody was a part of the Yamassee Nation, and I told you that they wasn't. But see, you trying to be vindictive, but it don't work like that, my boy. But it's cool, fine and dandy, right? You're just like your ancestors, the ones that helped the British to fight against the Yamassee. But they got one dude that said, well, they don't want to talk about the Yamassee, how they enslaved other Indians and everything. But yet you're not talking about when the Westos and them was enslaving us and everything, and sending us to the Caribbeans and all that and carrying on. But then when our family wound up getting the gun, like the rabbit did, it ain't no fun, right? But guess what we did? Rewrite the wrong that we done. But see, you don't want to talk about that because you don't know how that went, Mr. Street. 00 Indian blood of the Seminole Nation, Freeman. And then you call me. I'm the wrong person to call out, my boy. But don't take it personal. Take the bitter with the sweet. Easy come, easy go. That's what Tremaine Jackson said, huh? Don't take it personal. Hey, we was already Negroes before the Africans and it was put on the doggone slave ship. Or cargo ship, that is. Right? Explain how these people seen us as Negroes in the 1500s before the transatlantic slave trade. Before they brought the Kizzies over to South Carolina in 1619 from Ghana. Explain that, sir. How you have Negroes over here that's pre-Columbian, pre-Columbus, before the 1300s, before the 1200s, before the 1100s, before 1000, right? Before 900, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Son, explain that. Explain that. Explain how you have Negroes in the southeast and the southeastern coast of North America before the transatlantic slave trade. I'll wait. Because you don't want to listen to any Yvmvse. You don't want to listen. Go see what your pale-faced daddy say on there. You got his writings, it's right there. It said Negro Indians, Black Indians was met in Louisiana in 1543. But you know what? You're going to have some people say, oh, that was paint. Oh, that was paint. Man, stop the bullshit. Stop the bullshit. Y'all know it wasn't no goddamn paint. Y'all go stop playing with my family of the Southeast. How you like that? And those same family members that were dark skinned, right? They made y'all into Freemans. Me and cousin Christina and cousin L, we already showed y'all what they did with a full-blooded Choctaw or Choctaw that was down there in Mississippi. And they told him he can't be able to get land in Oklahoma because he didn't move to Oklahoma when everybody else did. And they were trying to make him a freeman. He said, I'm not no freeman. Go back and look at our podcast dealing with that with my cousin JaGuar. But y'all don't want to talk about that. You got somebody that looked like a Negro. Oh, the Yamassee don't. The Yamassee was not Negroes. Prove it. Mr. Disingenuous, prove it. I told you I got the receipts right here. Congressional records. What congressional records say that the Yamassee were not Negroes? I'll wait. Pull it up. Pull it up. Just like I told you over the phone when we had a conversation before you did that little fecal matter, right? If I walking down the streets of Chichoma, Chapatulas, Misnomer, New Orleans, Louisiana, and something was to happen, you think they're going to say, oh, we got a Yamassee right here? Nah. The first thing they're going to say, we have an unresponsive black male, need medical attention. But until they go in my pocket, that's when they're going to see my ID and it's going to say, Yamassee, tribal nation. Huh? Then that's when they're going to know that I'm Yamassee. Like the American Express card, what you got in your pocket. And I ain't talking about no card that says 00 Indian blood, because that says you have none. You have none. What you got in your pocket? When I travel, I don't have no problem going through the airport or going through the train station. No problem. Let's see if I can pull up something else. Since somebody say, oh, the Seminoles ain't got nothing to do with the Yamassee, and the Yamassee ain't got nothing to do with the Seminoles. Huh. Okay. Well, this comes from the Seminole Nation of Florida. Okay, dealing with their question and answer series on their webpage. It said, where did the Seminole tribe come from? Question, where did the Seminole tribe come from? Answer, the Seminole tribe that is political or politically entity, right, did not exist until it was created by the Seminoles in 1957. Wait. Say what? Say what? Say what? The Seminole tribe that is politically entitled, right, did not exist until it was created by the Seminoles in 1957. The Seminole people, that is the cultural group or the descendants of many Native Americans who inhabit Florida, Georgia, Alabama, and parts of South Carolina, Tennessee, Mississippi for at least 12,000 years. They lived as what? They lived as hundreds of separate tribes when the Spaniards, first Europeans to enter North America, arrived in 1510. By they were members of the same linguistic family, the Miccosukee speakers. They shared many of the same belief systems over the last almost 500 years. However, as their descendants have endured diseases and warfare, the survival of their numerous Miccosukee tribes and groups together in Florida around a core of Cimarrones, fugitive from the Spanish Florida mission, see above. Only after 1770, the first English speakers into Florida, where they called the Seminoles or the Seminoles. Today, the entire group bear the Anglo-Saxon or the anglicized name Seminoles. Let's do this here. Question: what is the difference between the Seminoles and the Creeks? Right? They said that the Spaniards tried to get the Indians to live in the mission towns and convert to Roman Catholicism. Began as early as in 1630 to call many of them Cimarrones or runaways because they fled the missions rather than give up their own beliefs. These Florida Indians heard this word as Seminole and called themselves Yaseminole, which they took as a point of pride, considering themselves free people rather than runaways in the 1770s. Now remember, this all happened after the Yamassee War of 1715. Okay? The English heard the term for the first time and wrote it down as Seminoles or Seminole in today's Seminoles. It was the English from today, South Carolina and Georgia, who entered into lower Southeastern after 1600s, who first applied the nickname Creek. So, Creek is a nickname. Creek is a nickname to other Miccosukee people whom they encountered near the Oconee and Ogeechee Creek in Georgia. Right? These traders did not care what the specific name of the tribes were, and soon began to label all the Miccosukee people from Georgia and Alabama generically as Creeks. In the late 1700s and the early 1800s, a settlement that began to move southwestward into the Spanish Florida. It was also the English who first applied the term Miccosukee in the late 1700s to a village of Miccosukee people living near present-day Tallahassee, which meaning old town. Okay, Tallahassee means old town. And they say there is some controversial over how the name came to be. It may have indicated as a village of several Macoos or civil leaders lived, and many of them referred to as a wealthy village with many pigs. Okay, let's go to the next question. What were the Seminole before they came to Florida? Look what it says. Answer. The core of the Seminole people did not come to Florida. This is and was their home. In the 1770s, the English speakers encountered them for the first time and decided to call them Seminoles. But the Indians continued to know and remember, to know and to remember, to know and remember that there were Yuchi, or Yuchi, right? Or Yamassee, or Tequista, right? Or Appalachia, right? All of the hundreds of the tribes that lived and hunted all over Florida Peninsula for thousands of years before the coming of the English or the Spanish. Further detail, this process of the historical transformation are available in the answers to the other questions in this session and other pages on this web page or website. Take your time and read them carefully. The Seminole history is rich and exciting and complex. But once again, they say that we remember, we continue to remember that we was the Yuchi or the Yuche, right? Yamassee, Tequista, and the Appalachia or Apicola, right? Come on, man, don't play. And they seen all these tribal people as Negroes. As Negroes. As Negroes. But y'all got a problem with that. Now, why didn't want to let me back in? So, they saw the Iguaa, Yamassee, Tequista, the Timucua, right? They saw all these tribes as Negroes. I'm not screaming, I'm projecting. That's a total difference. And Jasper, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I suggest you go back to the beginning of the video, which I know who you is anyway. Did you shoot up your medicine today? Did you shoot up your medicine today? Huh? Told you go play with your mom. That part. What's happening, nephew? I see you in the chat, baby.
Yeah, was you through sharing that screen?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, once again, the tribes of the South Coast and the Southeastern region of North America, by the Spanish, they were seen as Negroes. By the French, they were seen as Negroes. by the Dutch and the British. They were seen as Negroes, and that was before the transatlantic slave trade. I suggest you go play with your cousin up there in New York, bro. I'm the wrong dude to play with. Because he already said somebody died dealing with you. We ain't gonna do that over here, my boy. Keep that up there in New Jersey. Because it ain't gonna happen down south. Anybody have any questions? So who's going to refute the documents that you just seen, the receipts that say that the Yamassee were Negroes? So, see, I wish the internet wasn't acting so crazy because I show y'all some more stuff. But this is what I do. I'll go to my page. All right. All right. Here are some historical accounts from the 1500s that describe the Native Americans as resembles Ethiopians or Africans. The Spanish accounts, Christopher Columbus journals. In 1492 to 1504, Columbus described the indigenous people he encountered in the Caribbean as having Ethiopian features. Gonzo Fernandez de Ascos, La General, the Natural Historical de las Indians of 1526. Also describes the Native Americans as having African features. Pedro de Mendezos, Historical de los Indios, La Nuevos España, 1536. Mestos noted similarities between the Native Americans and Ethiopians. The French account, Marquis Carter, Voyage of the Marquis Carter, of Canada of 1534. Carter described the Native Americans as having African features. Jean de Lepre, A History of the Voyage of the Land of Brazil in 1578. Lead similarities between Native Americans and Ethiopians. The Portuguese account, Pedro Vaz de Chamas, Carta e Elri de Manuel, 1500s. He described Native Americans of having African features. Garcia de Osco Colon de Simple Diasca Indios of 1563 noted similarities between Native Americans and Ethiopians. The Italian account of America Vespucius in 1507, Vespucius describes Native American of having African features. Giovanni de Vasco's letter to Francisco de Medici of 1524. Vasquez noticed similarity between Native Americans and Ethiopians. These accounts demonstrated that the European explorers and colonizers frequently observed physical similarities between the American natives and Africans and Ethiopian sources. D. Dora of Christopher Columbus' first voyage to Americas in 1492 to 1493, translated by Oliver Dunn and James E. Kelly Jr. in 1991. The historical General Wide Natural de las Indians by Jeroso Fernandez Velas in 1526, and Voyage of Marquis Carter by Jacqueline Carter in 1534. So those accounts said that the American Negroes resembles Africans and Ethiopians. But y'all got a problem with that. All right. The Roman Catholic Church has archives that mention that the Yamassee as Negroes are of African descent. These archives, including the Roman Cetus and the Jesuit archives in Roman, contain documents related to the Jesuit missions in the southeastern United States, including the interactions with the Yamassee. And they said that the Vatican secret archives hold documents related to the Catholic mission, including those that in the Americas colonies, or Biblios, Apostolatos, Vatican, or the Vatican Library contain rare books and manuscripts documented related Catholic missions and encounter with indigenous people. The Catholic Archives of the United States, various Catholic dioceses and archdioceses in the United States, particularly in Georgia and South Carolina, may hold archives related to the Yamassee. Some specific examples of the Catholic records mention the Yamassee as Negroes, including the Jesuit father Juan de Segura, the letter in 1568 and 1572. Segura and the Jesuit missionary wrote about the Yamassee as Negroes and described their physical characteristics. The Franciscan father, Le Quasos, reported in 1579. Quasos, also a Franciscan missionary, mentioned that the Yamassee as mulattoes, suggesting the mixing of Africans and Native American ancestry. Bishop August Retros correspond in 1850 and 1860. Voto of Bishop of Savannah wrote about the Yamassee of having African ancestry. The access of these archives research typically need to obtain permission from the Catholic Church or specific archives. Visit the archives in person or request digital copies. Work with qualification archivists or historians familiar with the record. Some online resources and archives include the Jesuit Archives and the Research Center of St. Louis, Missouri, and the Catholic Archives of the United States in various locations. The Vatican Library online catalog, the Vatican Secret Archives online platform. Keep in mind that the access to sensitive and restricted materials may be limited. Interpretation of historical records acquired carefully. Um, Considering of the context and the perspective and collaboration with historians and archivists is essential for accuracy of the research. The source of Jesuit relations of Allied documents of 1896 and 1901, edited by Reuben Gold-Twatz, and also the Catholic Church in the United States, a documentary history in 1984, edited by John Trace Ellis. The Yamassee Indians, a document history in 1995 by John E. Worth. See, I see you just came late, so therefore, you talk about your apologies about if you was rude. He say shouting. I was not shouting. I was not shouting at all. Right? So you don't know nothing about the Southeast.
Yes.
The Spanish and the French and them did look at the tribal people of the Southeast and the South Coast as Negroes. And they say they had phenotypes as Africans. See, you didn't understand what I was saying. They say they had phenotypes as Africans. So once again, go back and look at the video and look at what was posted and listen to what is being read. If they didn't see him as Negroes, then what did they see him as? Jasper? What they saw him as? Why out of the 13 states that those Indians was classified as Negroes and put on plantations to work, and even someone was shipped off if they didn't look like Negroes? There are French records from the 1500s that refer to the Yamassee as Negroes or of African descent. French explorers and missionaries and colonists interacted with the Yamassee in the southeastern United States, particularly in present-day Georgia, South Carolina. Some French records of the 1500s describe the Yamassee of having African features. Describe the Yamassee as having African features or ancestry. Jean Rabat of the French naval officer wrote in 1562 that the Yamassee were Negroes, black in parentheses. Okay, it had Negro physical characteristics. In 1564, the French missionary Dominique de Gours described the Yamassee of having Negro features as being the same color as the Ethiopians. The French explorer and choreographer John Lee Monet de Moniz in 1533 and 1588 depicted the Yamassee in his illustration of having African-like features. In 1586, the French missionary and historian Marcus Lebat wrote in the Yamassee were mulattoes or mulattoes, right? Suggested that the mixing of the Native American ancestry. Example of the French record. Rabat J. 1562, The True Relations of the Horde and Wonderful Voyage of Jean Rabat. Goris D. in 1564, Historical Visual de la Grati, Acceptable Enterprise of Lee Franchise. Lee Monet de Marquise in 1582, on Brief Narrow de Quam of La Florida, America Vivant Gauls, right? And it said in Labat M in 1586, Historical Lee de Vaux, France. These French records, like the Spanish ones, suggested that the Yamassee may have African ancestry or cultural exchange with Africans. However, it is essential to consider that the complexity of racial identity during the 16th century, right, on potential bias, inaccurate when dealing with history according to the diverse of the Native American tribes and culture and linguistics and genetics background. To better understand the Yamassee ancestry and identity Additional research and analysis of historical records, archaeology finding, and genetic studies are necessary. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. And once again, dealing with the Congressional records of 1901, when it says that the Yamassee were Negroes, and yet the fiercest of tribes in the Southeast. And it said that there was pre-Columbians, and it was living there on those islands of South Carolina before America was discovered by Christopher Columbus. So you had Negroes already in the southeastern portion of North America before Christopher Columbus even sailed the ocean blue in 1492. So explain how you have Negroes over here already in the southeastern before the transatlantic slave trade of 1619. Right. He did not say Africans. That's right. He said Negroes. He said Negroes, and then this when he said that they had characteristics and phenotypes of Africans. I said that specifically and accurately. Because see, what y'all have been misled to believe when y'all see Hollywood, y'all see the plain Indians over there that being played by other people. Then even with some of that, you know, you gonna look at the old drawings and everything, you'll be like, well, how the hell y'all don't look like this today? Why y'all don't look like this today? That's right, nephew. That's right. That's right. See, you're also used to seeing people with hollow hair with beads, with number one beads that they can put their hair through. But yet, they already said that they came from Turtle Island. Everybody thinking that North America is Turtle Island, and North America is not Turtle Island. Asia or Eurasia was Turtle Island. They migrated from there to over here. That's where you see the Asians or the Mongoloid phenotype. So you have those that came over the Bering Strait who had the Mongoloid phenotype, but yet we over here in the southeast, and the south coast, in the southeast, we had features of Negroes. Because we was already here before they came over the Bering Strait. Ask any of them who look like Mongoloids, did they build mounds? Watch what they say. Oh, we don't know who built them. Of course, because y'all was not from here. Y'all was not from here. You was not from here. And it's in their own writings. It's in their own writings. They came warring with us. But when they couldn't beat us, they had to try to join. And then some of them mixed in with the people who was already here. And if you want more information on that, I suggest y'all go online and look up Wale origins and get the blue fire. He breaks it down in his book. He breaks it down in his book. And then furthermore, he gives more clarity in the green fire book. Because we connect the dots. See, what the European them did, they only can go from the time of Christopher Columbus of 1492 up to now. But they can't go into the 1300s, the 1200s, the 1100s, the 1000s, 900, or better yet, 1,000, right? 1,000, 900, 800, 700, 600, 500, 400, 300, 200, 100. That's the information that he has in his book. Ask any one of them Europeans, can they go back that far? We have. We have. Those that came over the Bering Strait, they can't go that far back because they're not from Yuba'a. As my nephew would say. Go ahead. Go ask their medicine people. Go ask them. Go ask them what was going on over here before they came from Turtle Island to Snake Island. Go ask them what was going on over here. Go ask them. If they was building mounds so much, why the hell they don't have mounds over there in Eurasia? There was nomads. There was nomads. That's why they had teepees, which is tents. There was nomads. There was nomads. Nomads have teepees. We didn't have teepees. No, it didn't have nothing to do. Well, I wouldn't necessarily say that because you said that Wale, we all are the creator's children. Skin color has nothing to do with that. Guess what? Those who came over the Bering Strait didn't feel like that. Those who came over the Bering Strait didn't feel like that, Jasper. Those that came over the Bering Strait didn't feel like that. Those that came over the Bering Strait didn't feel like that. Those that came over the Bering Strait didn't feel like that, Jasper. I mean, that sounds good and all, but those that came over the Bering Strait didn't feel like that. And guess what? They still feel like that to this very day. They still feel like that to this very day. Even those that became federally recognized still feel like that to this very day. But see, people don't want to talk about that. Because when I tell people, and me, Yvmvse, they look at me like, Nigga, what? Nigga, go back to Africa. You're African. Because I have admixture? Because I have an admixture? But yet, they don't know my family bloodline? So they just assume that I'm just pure African? Which I'm not? We who are the true people, we look at the blood. But those who've been colonized and took on the ways of the colonizer, they're the ones that want to look at racism and be like, nah, bro, you can't be indigenous to America, bro. You feel what I'm saying? Nah, you can't be. No, they didn't have no dark skin or Negro Indians here. That had to happen with the slave trade. And yet, I'm showing you that they had niggas here before the motherfucking slave trade. That's the only thing that I'm showing you. By the eyes of those who were the colonizers that came from Castile, France, Germany, the Dutch, the British, the Germans, right? Because what people don't forget is most of them was tawny or swarthy. So by them traveling to Africa in the early 1500s, and then they come over here in the later 1500s, they saw niggas on the continent of Africa, and then they get here to the Americas. Oh, they got niggas over here too. Because they say we look like Ethiopians. I have never saw a pale-faced Ethiopian yet. I have never seen a pale-faced Ethiopian yet. I never saw no pale Efore. I never saw no pale Amazik. I didn't see no pale Cartilage. I never saw no pale Mexican. I never saw a pale one. Why you think dealing with those maps? We was not map makers. Go look at the map makers from Spain and France and Germany and all that there, how they got Negroes on the bottom where the ledgers are on the maps. I didn't paint that shit. They showed them being Negroes there. They even had a map where they call America's Ethiopia. Peace, love, and light, family. Thank you for joining. Jasper, you seem like you're not understanding that you said dealing with the Afrocentric tactics. How the fuck that's gonna be an Afrocentric tactic from the fucking 1500s, bruh? How? I'm reading you shit from the 1500s, bruh. Afrocentric didn't come about until the 1970s. See, you're doing the conflating now. Because I'm showing you how you had natives or American Aborigines in the South Coast and in the Southeast as being seen as Negroes. What part you not understanding? What part you not understanding? What part you don't understand? Because see, what you just did, you just negated everything that you said. Because if I'm showing you, and I am showing you that you had tribes in the Southeast that were seen as Negroes. They were seen as Negroes. They were seen as Negroes. Once again, they were seen as Negroes. What part you don't understand? What part you don't understand? When the Spanish and the French and them came over here in the Southeast and they saw the tribal people as Negroes, as Negroes, as Negroes, why was they seen as Negroes before they brought the Negroes here in 1619? That's my question to you, sir. You sound like a motherfucking fool, Jasper. You really do. You really do. You got a problem because I show where the Spanish and the French saw the people of Southeast and the South Coast as Negroes. Like I told you, don't argue with me, go argue with your fucking mom, bruh. I already told you that. I already told you that. You seem like you can't understand. What, you mad because it doesn't describe you? That's what you mad about? How be racist and I never said one racist thing? When I told you those that came over the Bering Strait, when you talk about, oh, we didn't see color. That's bullshit. Go read it. And are you really Jasper? Or are you KC? Which one? Because you're talking like you're on Met. Matter of fact, cuz drop the link in the chat and let him come up. Show your face. Since you won't talk, show your damn face. Drop the chat in the link. Let the ass come up here. Because of Christina?
Yeah, I'm posting. Give me a second.
Come show your face. I bet you're not described as a Negro. You're right, nephew. You're absolutely right. But he coming playing with that real fire today. When she dropped the link, bring your ass on this live where we can actually see how you speak. Because you mad because the Spanish and the French said that the Southeastern Indians look like Negroes. You mad. You mad. What you mad for? Don't have on no tribal regalia or tribal accessories and see what they mistake you for. This proved that the Spanish and the French didn't call the American natives of the Southeast and the South Coast Negroes or Black Indians. I'll wait. I'll wait. Because obviously it was important to someone to write it and record it that the people that they came across looked like Negroes. So it was important. It was important the way how they described the people. It had to be important because if it wasn't important, they would never have written it. But you mad. You mad because they recorded that Negroes were here before Christopher Columbus discovered America. You mad?
That might not be him because he's not. If it was the other dude, unless he's really trying to really disguise himself. But if that was the other dude, he would have been like gave himself away. He would have been like flipped. He would have been.
Well, guess what? He getting the blunt of it. He getting the blunt of it. He's getting the blunt of it. Because it seems like he don't understand.
Yeah, I don't think it's the a meth head.
Well, they got the same mentality.
The true
they got the same mentality. They got the same mentality. He got a problem because the Spanish and the French and the Germans in them and the Roman Catholic Church and the French in them said that the Yamassee were Negroes and the Indians that they meet in the Southeast and the South Coast were Negroes. They got a problem with that. They got a problem. And it shouldn't be no damn problem anyway. We don't want none of the money from y'all, no subsidized money from your daddy. We don't want that bullshit. So what you upset for? Because you see me being who I am. You mad. You mad. What you mad for? It was important to the Spanish and the French and them to say that they saw that the American natives were Negroes and they had features of Africans and Ethiopians. Why did they say it? Why? That's my question. Why did they say it? They wrote the books. They wrote their journals. Did we force them to put that in there? Nope. Not by a long shot. How that's Afrocentric, but I'm telling you that they saw us as Negroes. He thinking that Negroes dealing with Africa. When these people say that these people are Negroes and they look like Ethiopians, look like, they didn't say they are, they said look like Ethiopians, look like Africans, look like. They didn't say they are, they said look like. Motherfucker don't even know the English language. God damn. It said it looked like they had African features. Because you seem like you don't understand. That's why I'm repeating it to you.
Did you want to share another any more documents, cuz?
Let's see. Let's see what I can find on here. Nah, that'll be it. That'll be it. That'll be it. Yeah, we'll finish. We'll finish next week. I'll do more build on it next week and everything. Because this week.
Okay, did you want to share some stuff? Because we pushed the Dan did so back, and we
Yeah, once we do that, we'll come back for follow.
and Denise Vasquez from the
Yeah,
Seminole Nation.
yeah, we're gonna play them next week. And then after next week I'll come back for part 2 for this.
Okay, you sure you don't want to continue a little longer?
Nah, we passed our time.
Okay. Anybody
Yeah,
who got somewhere else to be?
yeah, you already know. So anybody got any questions or any comments?
Yeah, and we can have we can split it up next week. We can do the continuation of this and then show highlights from Dan Ditso and Denise Vasquez of the Seminole Nation.
Yeah, but once again, I didn't write the motherfucking journals. I just only read what's in them. Okay? So don't get mad at me because they said that we look like Negroes and that we look like Ethiopians and Africans. So I didn't write it. Don't get mad at me. Get mad at the Spanish and the French and the Dutch and the Germans and the Roman Catholic Church. Get mad with them because they're the ones that got the records of how we look alike. But yet you got people talking about, oh, it's not about the color. Well, if it wasn't about the color, then why those that came over the Barry Street feel some kind of way about the black snake? But hey, that's a whole nother topic. But that's things where people don't even must study. But hey, who am I? I'm just any to your must. That's it. That's it. No love lost on my end. I know who I am. With an admixture. Because no one is 100% of anything. Let's get that right. So, you got anything to say, cuz? Because I'm finished on my end.
No, I just want to say thank you for everybody who tuned in. And join us back next week, Sunday, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, Southeastern Talking Stick Podcast. Peace.
All right, y'all. See y'all next week.
Peace.